If there were any tourism in this game, it's probably the best spot to have a look over the city from up here on the castle. Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Foundation. Take a cup of coffee, sit back, relax and enjoy as we continue onwards with our city. And yeah, things are coming along. Things for my building materials are not looking great. The reason for that is though very tangible, and that is that we have a whole bunch of buildings right now that upgrade. Look at this guy. He's supervising my town, doing also some exercising in between. What is going on with you? Freidank. He's the tax collector. Okay, he's probably pretty comfortable with his skin. And he's just looking around. He's looking at this construction site that we have right now. And that is a building that goes to the highest level possible. So we have high quality and high density. As we continue with that, look at that. Also pretty interesting. It's a full block then, right? So these buildings merge into a block. Look at that. If I click on this, it's one giant solid block over here. The same goes with this one. And the same goes with this one. I love it, right? So this really turns into a city. And look at how the density changes the layout of the city then, right? You get these tiny streets in between with huge blocks of houses around it. Loving that. What a beautiful game to provide that much change in mid-game to end-game, right? Beautiful. Now, I also continue with a few more additional blocks here. The rustic gallery. This doubles my amount of monks that I have. It's not looking particularly pretty right now, but before we do the next major expansion, it gets the job done, as we really get a lot more monks out of that, and it's also quite cheap. Promotion-wise, there's a lot of additional villages now we can upgrade, so it's been a while since we did it. We should really go ahead with it, as it increases, as always, efficiency and tax income at the same time. Also commonwear maker here, another citizen, 3 more citizens over there. It's also a nice way of adding or spending some money. A royal company of militiamen is approaching your village. I wonder what they have to say. Can't be something good, right? Some of you have been suggesting, by the way, that I should spend my surplus money on purchasing more territories. I think this is a terrible idea. The reason for that is that every single additional territory I purchase will cost me upkeep. So if I spend now 5 more upgrades on territory, my upkeep goes up a lot. And this could really get out of control because every single territory we purchase costs me more on upkeep, right? So at some point I might probably have the problem that I'm losing money, and I don't want to get into that. I'd rather play it safe on my treasury. However, expansion wise, we should still expand slowly from time to time. The reason for that is we are going down on general storage here. As I can see, my berries are once again in danger. Also, my meat is dropping, and cheese has always been pretty low, and it's still not really going up despite having a second dairy farm, and despite having a bit more milk in. That cheesemaker is never really making sure we have enough in store. So people really love cheese, obviously, together with bread and meat, of course. So these are the refined goods, and we should really get them on a stable basis. So it's more cheese that we need. It's, probably also more bread down the road. For this, we need more space. Look at that. We only have a bit of space here still left. And then I could work on that tile there. We have here this one, okay? So this one belongs to us already. So I can have another farm up there. It would make sense to me. It's far away. The problem is though, what kind of farm? Now, wool is looking rather stable, as I can see. There's, however, no more upgrades we can do, right? No. There's not. So I probably can have another sheep farm somewhere, but that's it. I could go with another cow farm. And for that, we already have this area for it, right? So here we purchased this. It's a mining area now for quartz. And by the way, there's something else over here. Gold. Look at that. That's really neat. So we can soon produce gold. I'm looking forward to this. For now, let's move a gathering hut here. I'm going to move it into a bit further into the forest area here. There you go. Right. It's instantly being moved. Yeah, instantly being moved, no props. And with that, we have a bit more space here that I can use now for another dairy farm. Let's place it. And I could also have my dairy farm here. Interesting. Yeah, let's have the dairy farm here. Alright, so I'm gonna make it like this. So they're looking towards each other. And then we can paint this one here too with cows. And over here, I would like to have another wheat farm. Because don't forget, wheat is something we always need. And we're getting more bread consumption. That means I need more wheat. Where's my wheat farm? It's gone again. And the cool thing about those wheat farms are they're very flexible, right? So, oh, this one's actually too large right now for the amount of people there. So we can still assign more to this. This area is farmland. This area will be farmland. Then we still have a bit of room here to grow our city. Not that much further though. By the way, where's that militia group? They're gone. I thought it would be a quest or something. Another thing we really should get going to is, again, increasing our iron production. For that, we need more iron ore in general. The thing is, we have the stone deposit here. We have the iron ore deposit here. There can still be another worker. So I'm gonna ahead and we're gonna do this. And I think though that's it. No, we can still also go ahead and extend the output here with another iron quarry that we can add there. I'm doing this because we need more iron. Coal-wise, it's also bad, so we are burning a lot of wood right now for the coal. Gonna prospect more mineral deposits. Perhaps we find some coal. So what I would like to do is I would like to add another charcoal hut. Now we already have 3 charcoal huts working over there now, producing the resources. Can we see? No, we cannot see where they are right now. But they're all taking it away from this forest here. So we might need to spread the load to different forests too. So if I want to add, or I'm just gonna, take the charcoal hut here. For some reasons I cannot move it. Now I can. There you go. And we're going to move it also over here. So we have the wheat farms here, the berry collector, and then on top of that I would like to have a charcoal kiln here now. That does the job for it, right? So that we can like spread the load on these forests. Definitely want to keep that forest here for us. And we can afford a 4th charcoal burner now. All the way up here mostly, right? So there's still gonna be the cows here, but another one here should be fine in the middle of the forest. I'm also gonna move this one a bit further into the forest, so we're just gonna move them together over here. Territory wise, I'm gonna purchase this territory. There's also mineral deposits, and I'm gonna purchase this territory. This one's huge, by the way. Holy cow! And it's a 100% forest area for our city. And on top of that, we could purchase this area too. Safe, yes. Let's have these 3, so that's 4 additional ones. Nice achievement there too, getting 30 territories under our control. And with that, we'll just see how the upkeep goes for territories especially, right? This one goes up further, but so far we should be fine. Now with all of that, we have another charcoal hut. I can actually keep this one, I think. Let's also check out how my boar hunting is gonna be. So yeah, that's a lot of boars we could hunt in this area. So the boar hunting, of course, should be a bit further to the back, right? So it's this area now. Deeper into the forest. We can get rid... we could still keep this area available for boar hunting. Little hunting ground. This, all of it here, so will be now just for my charcoal huts. Alright, so we're gonna push it all the way back here a bit. I mean, there's so many boars. It's gonna be beautiful for my hunters. The playground. Just take all of this in. Yeah, this territory we don't have yet. But let's just go with this area. There you go. And I wonder if we really need that one. We'll just see. Now with that, let's have a look where my hunters are. There is one. I would like to also move them a bit further together. And as we're further optimizing our whole industry here, right? So not only do we move them a bit further away, I'm also adding more and making it a bit more higher density. So up here on this hill, we can just totally have our hunting area now, right? So we're going to have a few of these hunter huts. That's number 1. Number 2 is over here. So they have already a long way to go. So that should no longer be the case. I'm also moving them together here. And I'm gonna add a 3rd one. Oh, company well attended. We satisfied the royal militiamen. So there were guests in my house. And they paid me some coin. And we got 1 kingdom influence point in addition. Nice. Thank you very much. Another hunter hut. Don't forget though, workforce wise, it's tricky. Right, we still do not have enough workforce. 3 hunter huts. Do we have any more? I don't think so. Great. That's the 3 that are working now the game area over there. Regarding my reforestation, we do have the sawmills here. That's great. They can stay. We do have our forest camp. I'm going to add a 2nd forest camp now because I'm pretty sure one is not going to be enough anymore for all of this. So we're just going to add it here beside the other one. So they're sticking together once again. And then we have the wood cutting area. That's for the lumberjacks and also, of course, for my charcoal kilns. Right. All of this might make it here. Dropping this, by the way. Let's clean this up, right? We don't need to cut away here the castle anymore. This is already city area. And here we just cut it all the way that side. Okay. And then, last but not least, we do have our reforestation area. So that's no longer here. Also gonna move it a bit to the back now. And then all of this here can be reforested. There you go. Making this a nice dense forest area. Both of them are going to work for this, together with the charcoal kilns. And together with this charcoal kiln. That should increase a bit, right? Plus the mine. And now what we can do after all this preparation, add another iron smelter to the fray. We have already those two. Let's add another one here in the back too. We could make it so that they look like this, away from each other. Why not? They're still together then here. Here we have a bunch more space now available that we can use. We're, by the way, already producing wax, so it's a small step to unlock the candle workshop and produce candles. Produces candles for wax, iron, and tools. So this is a pretty complex production chain. The tools we have, though, the iron we don't have. So it's actually consuming two things that are also depending on each other, right? So tools for iron and the iron for the tools, and we take away both of them for this, for this production. With the candle workshop. That's a luxury good that we can then also offer on the market. Something I would like to do, of course. Where should we have it? Well, we got a bunch of space now here. So I'm gonna make sure that we continue here with that road setup. There's the entrance and exit. It can definitely be somewhere here. Unfulfilled requirements. Oh, this one needs light fortification in its area once again. Do we have the light fortification over here? It's not a big deal because we just can add then light fortification to this area. I'm pretty sure that a lot of buildings in the future will need it. So we can add this one here already. There you go, another tower. It's just funny that these buildings require the fortification, but for example my storage area does not. So the warehouses, even the expanded ones, don't need any kind of fortification. Like no one would ever steal something, right? Especially the gold just lying around. Another forester takes up his task. There you go. And over here we have now that wheat farm. And over here we have the cow farm. Let's start with the cow farm. Build us the next pastures. So this one, let's add 3 again. So we can also see the maximum that we have to go for here. Now that fence makes sense, right? Make sure that the cows do not go over to the wheat fields. And this is already adequately sized, really? For 3 people, that's very tiny. That's okay. Okay, and since this is probably gonna be the end for my pastures and cow farms, we should also add something like a fence to this area. So I'm just gonna make sure. I mean, it's purely decoration, of course. Coming together with this fence here. So that we have some kind of separation here too. Now, when I look at my logs, I can notice that it's pretty low. This huge lumber camp hut here is not serving any purpose anymore. So I'm gonna just destroy it. Right, that's it. It's gone. We get the workforce back. It's much better than to just move it, because you cannot move the whole lumber camp at once. I tried it. You can only move the central one, but all kinds of ornaments you had, you cannot move them. So in that case, we do not longer need to chop anything. So we are building now this lumber camp hut. So I could try. Right, so if I take this one, look at that. We need to move every single ornament in addition. So that is crazy. We're not doing that. Rather, we're going to delete the whole thing. And I'm gonna build me... So it was also not serving a purpose anymore. We kind of like neglected our wood cutting for a while now. And we should rectify this. So I'm gonna make a nice big lumber camp hut here. In fact, we are doing it also here by the charcoal kiln. The reason for that is that we need a permanent big source of logs coming in, right? We consume a lot of logs. So I would like to have something like this forest here. And we probably should not combine it with the charcoal kilns, because let's face it, that's just a bit of an overforestation. So we're going to place it here. This is going to be a massive permanent lumberjack. that we have. In addition, it needs a forester camp, of course. So we're also going to have this one over here, just behind my farm. There we have this. And with that, this whole thing here is also going to be a wood cutting area. We can expand this a bit. We could even do some hunting here, honestly. They're not really standing in the way of each other. So I'm also considering adding a nice hunting area out of this. It can totally overlap. It's not a big deal. So, there you go. Let's also add a hunter. Never hurt to have a surplus production of these cheap goods. I'm gonna have the hunter a bit further in the back here. And together they are going to work this forest now. And then we have this forest here. So this is hunting and coal production, and this is hunting and wood production. And that's permanent for both of them. Okay, so finally we've finished the lumber camp, and now we can once again add these different areas. So like a stewing pot, a stewing post, where people can produce their own food then. And also some tents then, just one here and one here. You can also have only 2 tents, right? Yep. There you go. A drinking post. It adds the worker capacity once again. Should also be then somewhere here. And then we could also add just some depot on the other side. Or actually closer to the road here, so all the way down. Makes the most sense. Why? What is going on with this depot here? It's not stable. There you go. Now, since we have a bit of workforce again, I can also see that this windmill is still not fully, you know, supplied by those 2 wheat farms here. So this one's definitely needed. And this one here also still has the room. So let's add 2 more people here. And then I would also like to start with 2 people here. And let's just paint our crop fields. So we are going to have them in this whole area just along this road that we have. And this is already adequately sized. Okay, that would be too big now. Let's add another one then as well. Can we not do this? I do have villagers unemployed. Okay, cannot do it for now. It's too large, that's okay. And once again, we are also going to add some smaller decoration here, smaller fence, just along this one, so that we're not coming too closer to this wheat farm there. This goes then, of course, to my mining area, right, that we have. Our little expansion at the monastery ended, or is finished now, and with that we have a bit of space again. I would like to use this to once again send my monastic emissary welcome 5 male novices, right? So this is gonna take some time. I would rather not devote male villagers out of my unemployed people, because we simply need people, so that's that. Castle Company is back from the mission that we sent them to. 31 coin. Thank you very much, I guess. We have way too much honey and wax right now. So both of my storages are full, right? And also the producer. So we could think about something here. Let's just check it out. Is any one of my trade partners taking that in? That would be great. Otherwise, of course, the candle production starts soon. There we have them. Davenport wants the honey. That's great, because we are not having them on sale right now. So let's make it a minimum of 60, and then we can sell the rest. This should lead to some more money. There's the mission now fully completed. We also get some kingdom influence points out of that. And all 5 of them are wounded. Okay. I guess they will need to rest a bit. Merry villagers, from a seat of a great hall you can hear people singing and laughing outside. You ensured everyone had everything necessary for their contentment and success. Thanks to you, life is good. We have a happiness rating of 122% right now. And this gives me another 10%. Should be... I mean, usually I would like to turn this happiness then into payment. But since we're constantly full of money, I don't care right now. We could also recruit a new company. Now we have 23 swords. We could make a new swordsman company out of that. And yeah, why not? Let's start with that. So we have a spear company and a swordsman company then as well. What is that? That's just a lot of people. Like, we got 10 unemployed people right now. 10 people moved in like that. Okay. We we have a high immigration rate. I was looking with my monks. That mission is still going on. I'm not going to devote them. But we're going to use them now for finally also adding more workforce again in general. Because a lot of my buildings are unemployed. And since we have a lot of stone and also planks, I would like to continue with the monastic expansion that we have. For this, we are going to now move the chapel. Ooh, the whole chapel, please, not just the central piece. We're going to move the whole thing a bit further to the back now. Like somewhere over here. And we will also need to move a bunch of these things here away. I'm gonna move the whole garden, in fact, over there. Unfortunately, you really cannot take more than once at the same time. Very good. So we add another wing now on this side here. And what I would like to do on the other side now is that we can add finally the... We don't even have it yet? No, we don't have it yet. The manuscript libraries. So in this case here, that is where we can produce manuscripts. Scriptorium, you might call it. And for this, we need to once again also move this entrance here away. Not that we really need it in this area, so let's just get rid of it completely. And now we're just going to add it. I love that we can add these different rooms then, and they look the same. So you, from the outside, you don't really see where something like that begins. This one adds now a copist capacity of 7 and a storage capacity of 120. I would like to have 2 wings for this. Right, so both of them. And we can still add them, yeah, for example, another tower or something like that. Just like we did on the other side already, together with a side wing. This leaves then this area available, that where we can have a treasury. That is one of the last buildings we can add, plus perhaps another wing here that adds it then for the dormitory. And with that, we also have a cloister garden now completed. So this one is now fully encircled. And I'm probably going to have here, so this is the treasury. The treasury will then go into a big cathedral that we have on this side of the monastery, together with the monastic production area, right? But for now, this looks pretty neat, I think. The only thing we should still add is then our little path or exit. That's your hospitium exit that we have there. I'm considering getting rid of it entirely. We really don't need it. What I can do for now is, instead of having its own entrance, the chapel is then basically just here at the end of the monastery, right over there, connected with the treasury department. So if you want to go to the church right now, you have to go through the treasury main building. But you could also say the main building doesn't have that much treasure, right? It's this wing here that's counting. And yeah, that's separated in two from the manuscripts. I think so far that's good. We also moved a bunch of things over there. Once again, this is a pretty big planning process. It'll cost me a lot. It'll, well, take a while. It's the second stage of our monastery, right? There's still going to be a third stage, and that's then the cathedral plus refinements. The cloister we can still decorate to complete is perhaps a little fountain in the center. We'll just see what comes along then here. For now, though, I'm considering this just another nice step. There is this very strange vestige that we have from something else. Cannot seem to move it anywhere, right? Doesn't matter. Let's accept. That's a whole bunch of new things. It's gonna take a while. My builders are probably sweating again already from that expansion. Lucky us, we have a really high amount of immigration right now, so I can also make my next woodcutter full again. Right, so it's this camp here now, where we're chopping. The berries. Oh, the hunter hut is being finished. The berry hut is working. Also, I wanted to build another berry hut up here. We are running low on berries. Who would have thought that? Finally, though, also, this is what I wanted to see. We're full on milk. Look at that. Those poor cows. They're exploding because no one is milking them. And we should do something about that. And that is, of course, adding a second cheesemaker now. Finally. Cheesemakers, they're polluty. Yeah, that's not so great. So we probably want to have him somewhere out here by the granary again. So we already have a cheesemaker. So it makes sense to me to have the second one. And let's have the second one just here on this corner. Squeeze him in as tightly as possible. Like that tree. There you go. Now there it is, a candle workshop to finally start producing the production of candles. Let's go ahead and assign 2 people to that. They're going to consume now the iron, tools, and wax to produce candles. Wax we're full, and I'm also not going to sell wax because it's only worth 1 coin. That's really nothing in comparison. The candles, that would be interesting. How much are candles in comparison to wax if we just process that 5 times more? Right, of course they also cost more, so that's to consider. With the candles, we don't have the right market stall anymore. We have. That's interesting because there's a luxurious market stall as well. It seems like candles are not luxury though yet. Let's assign someone to that. And also start selling candles to my people. This should add to more happiness. Another wave of immigrants. That's perfect. Because with that we can assign the next gathering hut right away. Wool for the bishop. Once again, we do have it theoretically. We have lots of it. I don't really care about the coin, but I would care about the... No, actually also not. Clergy influence points. Let's rather keep the wool this time around. And with these so many people coming in, right? You get the message housing insufficient. Of course, it means that there's not enough space. Even though, of course, lots of buildings are upgrading all the time, which adds more space. Still, we should go ahead and add another housing area, another residential zone. And this area here is just nice for it, so we can just expand this one all the way along the path here. There you go. This makes another smaller block. And then probably also here. Look at that. Immediately someone builds. And then also here, right? So that we just finish these outskirts of the town of Sleepy Hollow. Right over here. This area I would like to keep for something else, so just wait for that. We do have a bit of space here now, so that the residential zone grows more or less forward to the monastery up here. And yeah, this area could also be possible. It's for strategic reasons you should not place housings too close to the castle, right? Because of course you need to have some kind of perimeter that you can secure. So I'm not going to do anything here for now. This area we are also going to need pretty soon for something big. So in that case, that should be enough housing though, right? Oh, they're already building, already moved in again. So I'm going to open up more. And that would be then this area here. So that, yeah, it's a bit of forest that'll disappear. What can you do about that? It's also a time to open that construction site. Everything else has been finished, and now all my builders can specialize or can, you know, focus on this new and latest edition. By the way, also, since we have purchased a few more territories, this is now one of my main roads, right? It's okay-ish, I'd say. It's not my favorite, right? I would still like to have this one here as my main road. And since this hasn't been used in a while now for high density traffic, look at that. The path is even disappearing again. That's just a nice detail, right? Because that means every road can disappear again at some point. It's looking okay. So I have this romantic idea in my head that a monastery should be a bit seclusive. So having a main road right beside it is probably not ideal. We'll just see how we do it. Perhaps we just build a fence here and cut it off. You can also make the area forbidden, right? So that people are not allowed to walk it. Actually, let's go ahead and do this right now. So this is the entry point, right? And then they're trying to move here. So they're not allowed to move here all the way to this area. So that they should hopefully now make the right move. Let's just see. This is the first one. Okay, this one's ignoring it. Sold some 25 honey for 125 coin. That was a nice deal. And yes, very good. So they're now taking the old route again. There you go. They need new people to spawn. And with that, that road is already coming back online. Just look at all the busyness here. There's so much going on. Harvests, milking, exploding cows, processing industry. And things are looking rather stable right now. Also my building materials. Glass we have as well as surplus. Even though I still have another spot for another glass maker. So this is also all fine. Quartz we're totally full. So I may consider reducing the amount of people working on the quartz. Having another one working for the glass instead. Construction on the monastery continues. Stage 2 on its way. Okay, the wing here has been finished already, the monastic scriptorium, and the monks are now starting to produce manuscripts. Funnily enough, it seems like they don't need an input for that. So I was at least expecting wood, right, for the paper production, but it seems like, yeah, really, it's just manuscripts they're producing now. I definitely will need to adjust my monastic range here. The simple stew we don't really need here, so I would like to switch this now to the manuscripts over. We got the honey, we got the wax, and that's fine for the moment. There's also my garden that has its storage, and it's being then processed in the kitchen right away where it's also being consumed. So this is going nicely. This is still taking some time here, that final area, before we have a cloister garden. Now, the treasury department of the monastery needs light fortification that we need to provide somehow. The only thing that comes close for me right now is the rustic castle watchtower, so we can make it a bit further away from the library, from the treasury, right? So down here, so that it looks, it's overlooking the river that we have, right? It doesn't belong to the monastery. There is unfortunately no building I found that would add fortification that's part of the monastery, so you kind of like need to have it around it somehow in a building. And a little watchtower over there at the edge of it shouldn't do that much harm. One thing we can notice is as well that the church is already at full capacity again, 120 out of 120. That means we do lack some services. As we can see, the penalty is kicking in with -4. That also means we do need a bigger church or a second church at that at some point soon. Might be interesting to also build us a bow company, so the bow warfare over here I would like to unlock next, especially since it needs resources that we have in high quantity. That is the wood, the cloth and the tools. So both of that should not be a major problem. And with that we can now go ahead and get us the next one out, the bowyer's workshop. And I would also like to have it then here in my castle area. So that's where we produce the weapons. Let's just have it over there. Very good. Got another company, by the way, visiting us. Right, so we need to fulfill their needs, and then they're giving us sweet rewards. The same goes also with what we have right now, the Wandering Monk event. So host the monks with 80% approval rating. We need to achieve 80%, and then we can start a host. We can have an offering for these monks that visit us. Now, the monastery so far is finished, right? It's all working. The problem is the treasury is not working yet because light fortification is missing. That tower is coming along. Other than that, I'm still a bit worried. I'm wondering what the enclosed area really means, because when we were planning the whole thing, it shows me that it is now closed off. I don't know if this is a problem, right? This little ornament that we have there, but it doesn't look like it. So we still need to have the cloistered area around that, so the cloister walkway. That will cost a ridiculous amount of stone again, because you need to place it one by one all around it. That is something I can still do later, though. It's not super important right now. It's just ornaments and stuff like that. Other than that, it's coming along. That was phase 2 for the monastery. Phase 3 would then include a cathedral and the final decorations of the whole thing. But that's, yeah, once we have some materials in again. Next on the line would be now the remodeling of the city area once again, a stone church and a huge city marketplace that we still need. That's going to be interesting for sure. And we continue on what's in the next episode of Foundation. I hope you enjoyed this one. Stay tuned.